Hello everyone and welcome back to another hashtag trending with me, Ali Reza. Power transition took place in Iran with the leader of the Islamic Revolution officially endorsing Ebrahim Raisi as Iran's 8th president. Meanwhile, Iran warns against the spread of fake news regarding suspicious maritime incidents in the region. Let's see who says what about these issues on social media. Iran's incoming president Ebrahim Raisi received his mandate from Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei during an endorsement ceremony in Tehran. He's replacing Hassan Rouhani after winning the June 18th presidential election with a landslide victory. With the power transition completed in Iran, many Iranians hope that their new president stays true to his election pledges, including fighting corruption and solving economic problems. On to some tweets, with the first one by Munir Hossein. He wrote, "Warm welcome, Ebrahim Raisi. You are taking the decree of the Iranian nation at a time when there is a shadow war between Israel and its allies. Hoping you will be a president the Iranian nation and the oppressed people around the world need." Opuku wrote, "I hope he will be very active in the fight against white European supremacy. It is a world fight. It is a human rights fight." On to the next comment by Manucher. He wrote, "His priority should be dealing with domestic problems, such as economy, creating jobs, and getting rid of high prices and inflation. Then he should focus on foreign issues, because people are really suffering and they have had more than enough of those sanctions. I wish him the best." Raisi is taking office as Iran faces multiple challenges on both internal and external fronts. Economic hardships, sanctions, and the coronavirus pandemic are only some of the challenges that his government needs to deal with. On to our next tweet by Mard Mushaki. He wrote, "Iran is in a bad economy because of harsh sanctions placed on Iranians by the US. Iran can fix its economy and America should lift the inhumane sanctions. They can get rid of the inflation soon." Our next comment is one on Press TV's website by a new sheriff in town. He wrote, "The new president will create a great victory in the economic war against Iran. Build and produce less imports as possible." Our next tweet is by Mah.S. It reads, "One aspect of being the people's president involves a relentless fight against economic corruption. Mercer president started the fight against corruption in his previous position and good measures were taken. However, the main job must be carried out here. Fighting corruption was among his most important election pledges." On Tuesday, 4 ships reportedly broadcast warnings about losing control off the coast of the United Arab Emirates. Some Western and Israeli media were quick to blame Iran for the incidents, an accusation that Tehran vehemently denied. Iran says the recent maritime incidents in the Persian Gulf region are suspicious. Iranian authorities have also dismissed the rumors about the entry of the country's military forces into these foreign ships in the region and warned against the spread of such false reports. On to our next comment by Positron. They wrote, "Looks like any time the Zionists or any European country's pants fall down, they all together jump on the same wagon of pointing their fingers at Iran and blaming Iran for it. All of a sudden, all of their propaganda machines go to work for the purpose of promoting the occupiers' cause. They start spreading cheap rumors, hoping to isolate Iran and put more sanctions on it. The story doesn't end here. Then they pick up the flag of human rights and hide behind it. The same old story for Iran and the rest of the world." Our next comment by False Flag reads, "The US and the UK have all kinds of satellites and can keep track of any ships, so blaming Iran without investigation is just a blame game as usual. The tanker was close to the Strait of Hormuz, but it doesn't mean it was heading towards Iran. I hope Iran will close the Strait of Hormuz and let's see who will then blame Iran. The control of the Strait of Hormuz is up to Iran and Oman, I guess." Some social media users see the developments in the region as an Israeli plot to escalate tensions with Iran, which has pledged a forthright response to any act of aggression. On to our final batch of comments for the day, with the first one coming from DC. They wrote, Israel fears Ibrahim Raisi, so the Zionists keep plotting false flags against him. The final comment of the day comes from Manucher. He wrote, "Criminal and terrorist Zionists are the source of all instability and tensions in the Middle East. Through their lies, they want to drag Iran into war, but Iran is smarter than them." And that's going to be it for me in this edition of #Trending. Until next time, take care and bye-bye.